ETF inflows on Ethereum are outpacing Bitcoin's ETF growth, apparently. And also, there is an upcoming update, Fusaka upgrade in November for Ethereum that is going to make the network much faster and reduce further costs, which is could perhaps attract more users and developers. But we have, of course, seen a resistance at the previous record high back in the beginning of August. This is a breakout that we did call, and we expected that uh, resistance to initially follow be followed by a pullback down to the previous high. And currently, I'm expecting a consolidation and further continuation to the upside. However, let's not forget there is a very big momentum exhaustion here, right? And we will need to see a significant and strong breakout with volume increased and momentum increased on Ethereum to support this thesis. We are in a corrective mode currently. So whether this finishes here or we get a deeper pullback down to 3.5 or even lower is still not going to change the long-term view. However, it changes the short to medium term view. Now, there has been, of course, a lot of inflows coming in due to the Genius Act and Trump's friendly stance and regulatory sort of friendliness, which has some analysts thinking that the next alt season might be here. The reality is that there are a few signals that indicate that we might be at an early stage of an alt season, as we did actually also talk about a month ago when we looked at BTC and Ethereum. BTC is corrected, and it has corrected as much as Ethereum, which is not typical because Ethereum is less liquid, more volatile, and it's still an altcoin. So the BTC dominance, which is a very important signal for where BTC starts to turn, which then again subsequently tells us where an alt season might start, has stopped at around 67% and is falling. So if, I repeat, if we stay, and this is the weekly chart, below this trend line and head lower to 54% and then even lower down, this is going to be all suggesting that an alt season might be again indeed at play. Another signal that we are looking, and I am looking particularly, is the total crypto market cap that excludes BTC and Ethereum. This is all the altcoins, including stablecoins. This has not yet broken to new highs. So typically what happens is that Ethereum goes to new highs, the BTC goes to new highs, then it starts losing momentum. Ethereum goes to new highs, which is the second stage that we see currently here and pull back. And the third stage would be for the altcoins to go. And this is like, imagine this as an index of all the altcoins, excluding the Ethereum and BTC. So this going up while BTC dominance, also BTC and Ethereum going down, suggests that an alt season might be indeed at play. The alt season index, it's rising, but has not reached full alt season level. And this is okay, because if it did reach full alt season level, it means that there might not be much more upside left. So this could be an early warning of a potential breakout. This breaking, of course, has huge implications in the long term because we're looking at a head and shoulders, a very clear cup and handle pattern here. Okay, so this is the neck, the lip of the cup actually is around the 1.2 trillion. And if we do see a breakout here, that could have huge implications in the long term. Okay, but we're talking about really long term. At the same time, we might just face a triple top here. We don't know. Triple tops are not too typical though. However, all I'm saying is that the crypto total market cap, of course, between 2021 or previously and now, it's much more, it's less sensitive to individual coins, if that makes sense. Because you probably had like a few hundreds of coins, maybe thousands, will probably go to a few hundred, few thousands here, maybe even 10, 20,000, who knows. So yeah, it's less sensitive to individual moves, if that makes sense, which makes it a little bit more a little bit harder to move. The same goes, of course, for BTC. For BTC, it's more of a strong case for upside momentum not being as strong as before, because the more liquidity it's actually added in BTC, the less the chances that it's going to move to the upside easy, right? So these key indicators, Bitcoin dominance, also the Ethereum versus BTC ratio, which I'm sure is going up currently, the altcoin season index, and the total market cap, excluding BTC and Ethereum, is called total 3, are what I'm currently watching. I repeat, I'm not particularly um, calling here a potential move to the upside in the short to medium term, but it looks like if we manage to stay outside this trend line, okay, this pennant trend line, this is very likely going to be a case of a long-term continuation to the upside. Just a little bit more precise, and let's have a quick look on just Ethereum. I would typically look at all of these price action in the logarithmic chart because it makes more sense, but let's just leave it here for now. Um, what we could do potentially, because there is some sort of resemblance over here, is to look at this potential cup and handle also. Look at this cup and handle in a way where we can see where we can expect prices to go in the medium term, in case, of course, we see this upside continue. We're going to place this at the breakout point, which is over here. And you see that this equates to a 72% move and takes us up to around the 6.2K. Okay, very, very important to break out above the previous high. We did have a false break, which is expected. Double divergence, actually, is it? Well, actually, yeah, double divergence here and here. Momentum lost. It is not unlikely that we stop at 50 and go up. This is going to be more bullish. However, what else could happen is that we could eventually go and retest that low, create a new divergence over here, hidden bullish divergence. In pricing, we'll probably see something like this, and then off we go up from there. Now, we need to take into account, of course, the last leg to the upside. In this case, we'll look at the 38.2, the 50, and the 61.8 in case we do come lower down. But personally, I wouldn't want to re-enter this pennant pattern. Okay, whatever happens, I want to stay above that level and even above, ideally, this previous resistance that now has flipped to support at 4.115, because this is a retest for now. We turned the resistance to support. Falling below opens the door to the next big level, which, if we look at it from a longer term perspective, comes down to around 3,500. Okay. And that 3,500 brings us close to the 38.2. 38.2 is still good, is considered a pullback, but lower than that, it's probably going to cause a little bit of further downside, perhaps even signal a reversal to the downside, without that meaning, of course, that this is going to be a bear market or the long term is going to change. If we remain above the 50%, and as long as we remain the 50%, the long term remains to the upside.